Hey YouTube, and welcome to the Thanksgiving week marathon night 2. Let's do this.
Well, I started this story in the middle of the page. I remembered the lines and forgot my age. When somebody said my attitude was snotty, that's when you call and say get out tonight. I catch a late night movie on a late night flight. I'll be getting real drunk and making fun of everybody. Ain't nobody gonna get me down. Something must have gone around. You can stick that sign up your ass, the one that says it won't last. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day. Your sarcasm cuts like a knife. I'll have the time of my life. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day. To a party last Saturday night. You know, I think I got laid, then I got in a fight. I don't remember that much, but I think I liked it. I saw some band called Roses and Sake, and they brought back the rock and the singer was cocky. 2 years later, I'm sure they'll forget about it. Ain't nobody gonna get me down. Something must have gone around. Yeah, you can stick that sign up your ass, the one that says it won't last. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day. Your sarcasm cuts like a knife. I'll have the time of my life. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day.
And hey everybody, welcome to Squatch Talk. I'm Pat. How's everybody doing tonight? Thanks for being here, everybody. I see chat is alive. Thanks for being here and participating in chat. Those of you who do, I appreciate that always. It's a very important part of the show. So thanks for being here, guys and gals. You know I love you to death. So what's up? We're going to jump straight in. 15 feet tall. Can a Bigfoot be 15 feet tall? Some would say yes. Some would even say that's what they saw. But I'm here tonight to say no. With only one condition, really, that I can think of. And we'll get to that. But first, just a quick disclaimer. Nikki asked me to be on her show Sunday night before last. So about a week and a half ago, week and some change. Harry Man Hoaxes and Hoodwinks, Nikki's show. She asked me to come on and talk about this. So she reached out to me, asked me to come on the show because she was going to address it. And she asked me that because she's heard me like talk about this before. So just a quick disclaimer, like that was part of the motivation for doing this show tonight is because of technical difficulties. I was not able to be on her show that night. Yeah. So my internet crashed. I couldn't go on the show. Like I was jazzed. I thought it was a great discussion because again, she was going to address some of the, we'll get into it, square cube law stuff. And she did a great job. It ended up being her and Brent. I couldn't get on. I was very frustrated that I couldn't. And so part of that made me kind of go file it away in the back of my head. I'm like, well, I'm just going to do my segment of that show that I was going to do on her show. I'm going to make a show about it and include it in the things that are not Bigfoot episodes, of which this is episode 3 of that series. It's the only series that I believe I have numbered, labeled with episode numbers. So, and I'll keep cranking them out as long as I find more stuff that's not Bigfoot that gets tossed around in the Bigfoot world is Bigfoot. So this one's a little different, I suppose, but I think it meets the requirements for the title of that episode. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there and say, yeah, Nikki was a part of the reason why I'm doing this show tonight. So, and if Nikki and Brent are around, if they fall into the lap of this live stream tonight, then I'd be willing to send you to a link so that we can expand on the discussion, sort of like we would have that night if I'd have been there. So that's sort of an open invite to Brent and Nikki if they're watching. They may or may not be, but we'll see. We will see. So let's get right in. 15-foot tall Bigfoot. I guess some people report seeing them that height, and they think in their minds, or for whatever reason, they believe that it had to have been that tall. So right out of the gate, I'm going to say in that scenario, nope, you just completely dropped the ball on judging the height of something that you've never really seen before in your life that is tall. Most people put them around 8 feet. That I'd say that's the most common. It was 8 foot tall. It was 8 foot tall. Excluding all of this excludes juveniles or 6 foot tall. 5 foot tall, about as tall as me. Like those happen too, but most people seem to kind of agree on that. Man, it was 8 feet tall. So, right. So I will say to, anybody that claims they saw a Bigfoot that was 15 feet tall, you either misjudged it or you're lying. It's one of those two things, except there's a third possibility that, I don't know, I'll just kind of get into later. So I leave room for the third possibility, but it's kind of a tricky one. So yeah, let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about the tallest human that's ever lived. Oh, I have some other not disclaimers, but some other things caveats I kind of want to throw out there. So the tallest human being on record to ever live was a man named Robert Wadlow, who was 1 inch shy of being 9 feet tall. Right? So he was 8'11". So if I refer to Robert Wadlow during the show, I'm just going to say our tallest human being ever, 9 feet tall. Okay. Because that makes it easier and is more rounded of a number than 8'11", which is just 1 inch shy. Right. So if Robert Wadlow stood up on his toes, he'd be 9 feet tall, maybe a little bit more. Problem was he couldn't stand up on his toes because he could barely walk, and he died at the age of 21 because of his height, because of his size, which was a genetic disorder, basically. The one that, the one that makes you grow and grow and grow. The body doesn't stop growing until the body grows its way into death because gravity. So, see, now we're laying down parameters here. So the other thing is, contrary to popular belief in the Bigfoot world, there have been 0 giant skeletons ever found of giant skeleton, human-shaped skeletons. Fossil remains, fossil remains, that kind of stuff. The whole Smithsonian thing. Smithsonian has them, and they don't want people to know about them, because they're fucking Nephilim or whatever. They don't want blah blah blah. All the convoluted, stupid arguments. Nope, not true. None of that's true. So if you believe that, then I got no room to go anywhere with you on that. I'm just laying that down flat rule. There have been 0 giant skeleton remains that were, again, primate, 12 feet tall, human form, especially because all the giant skeleton stuff comes in human form, not just some primate. So giant human skeletons have never been found. That's all BS. It's not true. So we're not talking about that. The other thing, before I get going into the minutia of everything, is that some would try and go the route of Gigantopithecus. Also, that's just not in play. Gigantopithecus was not bipedal. It's pretty well understood. Consensus 2022 science, that it was a knuckle dragger, about 20% bigger than a gorilla. So no, it of itself was not some 10-foot biped. It surely could surely stand up on its hind 2 feet, right? For reaching purposes. So yeah, it could do that, but it's not considered a biped, and likely not. It just wasn't. It was a knuckle dragger. So Giganto doesn't count either, even though it was big. Again, it's thought to be about 20% bigger than a gorilla. So we're not like off the charts on anything there. Still remarkable, still important, but let's get into the Bigfoot thing. So most people see what they would describe as an 8-foot tall Bigfoot, and maybe they're misjudging that. But I'll say this, it's a lot easier to kind of judge 8 feet when you're about 6 feet tall than it is 15 feet when you're about 6 feet tall. It gets exponentially harder to judge every single foot over 8 feet or even over a foot. I mean, if you're 6 feet, man, you're looking up at somebody that's 6'8", you're almost 7 feet. 8 feet, we have a good judge for that. Most of our ceilings are 8 feet tall. So we look at 8 feet all the time. We look at 8 feet all the time. We have a pretty good understanding. Once you start getting beyond that, especially doubling it, then you're lost in what you think you're trying to look at. Most people couldn't judge 15 feet, if you you know, if you threatened to cut off their pinky for getting it wrong, they wouldn't be able to do it. Um, so so again, that goes back to sort of the first thing is that, let's say there are people reporting they saw a 15-foot Sasquatch. They're either just dead wrong because they can't. There's no way for them to judge it, no matter what they say about going back and the stick was here, so therefore I measured it. Nope, you just got it wrong. Or they're lying. Like, those are really the only two possibilities in play, except for the third one, which we'll get to. With that, I'll inject nicotine into my brain to get the neurons firing faster. So there is this thing called square cube law, and it is a law. and like, if you dive into the math of it and the all the science behind it, it's it would be that might be complicated for some people, but really at its core, it's a very simple understanding of the world around us, which is, at the end of the day, that's all science means, is to understand the world around us. Science is a part of everyone's life every day. So we do a pretty good job at understanding our world. And square cube law is basically this. Without getting into the mathematical formula of it, you can look it up. It's the reason a mouse isn't the size of a coffee table or a car. It's the reason why spiders can't actually grow to the size of what you see in Lord of the Rings. Shelob, the spider that's was like as big as a small car with legs. Whatever. I mean, pick any anything else, and yes, there is variable diversity in certain species, so that does happen. You have a house cat and a tiger, or a lion, right? Feline, lot of diversity in that size. That being said, there are no lions the size of elephants, right? So there's always that one up from anything or any species on the planet where, and of course we're talking on land. Water is different. Buoyancy in water is way different, obviously. The largest things to ever live on this planet live in the water. But that's because of buoyancy. Anyway, so take any species on the planet, you can make an example of how, like, there's reason, right? There's a brick wall somewhere. There's a wall they're going to hit that they just can't get any bigger. And it's exponential. As you want to make it bigger, it becomes exponentially harder. And so there's a reason why a mouse isn't the size of a coffee table or a couch, is because of the way they're designed. It's all about their design. There's also a reason why a mouse can jump off, or even a cat or a dog can jump off the back of your couch. But let's say a mouse this big can, like, jump off, like, a back of a couch, like about this high. Now you scale that to human size, that's like one of us jumping off a 10-story building. A mouse can do it easily because it's small. Gravity affects it differently. It's still just jumping 3 feet. We can jump 3 feet. It's jumping 3 feet. But it's even better designed to make that jump and land it. Better design than we are. So it's all about design for scale, because at the end of the day, the other law that always comes into play is gravity. Gravity's real. And it affects it affects things differently. It affects things on scale differently. So the bigger you get, the more gravity is going to weigh on you, literally, right? And so square cube law is basically, in its simplest understanding, is things can't get to a certain size because at some point gravity takes over, which is the catalyst for all the other problems that you have. Like, so with animals, it's not just about the fact that if they got to a certain size, they wouldn't be able to stand up. So therefore they're useless and would just die. You know, you're talking about, you know, circulatory issues, you get into bone density. Again, why they can't stand up, their muscles and bones just aren't strong enough. They would break their leg under their own weight, to even attempt to do so. And so that's why a mouse can never be as big as a car on planet Earth. So that's square cube law. And so, sorry. So this would also apply to Bigfoot, who's already big for a primate, a bipedal primate. He's already up there, man. He's 8 feet and it has some girth to him. You know, pretty much like everyone that ever claims to have seen one agrees on this. You get, you know, here and there, you might get, you know, a thinner, more description, but still big, you know, even if they were built like Shaq, you know, or that kind of thing, man. You know, most people say they're built like the Hulk or something, you know, like something out of a comic book, or they're just big and round. Oh, we have footage of one. That thing was huge. I don't care what anybody says. It was huge. So they're already big, which is amazing enough, especially compared to us. They're, you know, roughly 2 feet taller and much bigger, carry way more weight than let's say a nice evenly distributed human would, you know. I mean, they're really big. So at 8 feet tall, basically what it boils down to is, with the laws of physics, you're to say that you're going to double the size of something that's 8 feet tall and maybe weighs 700 pounds, 800 pounds. Some would even argue more. When you go from 8 to 15, you're basically doubling the size. Not quite, but almost. So think about that. At that point, you get to the point where the laws of physics take over 100%. And there's just no biped that's designed in any kind of primate form that we understand. And why wouldn't we understand? We understand primates really well. Sasquatch appears to be some kind of primate. That's what they look like. Kind of behave like, right? You can't take any primate on this planet, including Sasquatch, and double their size. They would not be able to get up. They wouldn't be able to walk. They certainly wouldn't be the agile force ninjas that we hear about. It's kind of amazing that they have that status given their size currently. And again, it's, you just go one more foot over 8, you start getting into exponential territory. 10 feet is 5 times harder than 9 feet. You know, 12 feet is 10 times harder than 9 feet, 10 feet. And then 15 feet is, it's exponential. It's 1,000 times harder. Like, it goes up real fast. So physically, there's just no way for a primate on this planet, including Sasquatch, to ever get that tall. The laws of physics don't allow it. Gravity will not allow it. Design will not allow it. Not in any way that we understand. No way that we understand. It's virtually impossible. And now to scale it, there is a history in the fossil record of a 15-foot biped that walked on 2 feet. Anybody care to guess what that is? I'll just throw this out to chat real quick. I'll give you guys like 30 seconds. In the fossil record, there's a 15-foot tall biped. What is it? There's a little bit of a delay. People are trying to chat, or trying to, type. Right. I'll give you guys like an extra 20 seconds. That's funny, Trackway. Come on. Somebody's going to get it. And there it is. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. You don't win anything except I'm going to post you. That's right. A Tyrannosaurus Rex. A Tyrannosaurus Rex was a 15-foot tall biped. That's the design of a 15-foot tall biped. That's what it takes. That looks nothing like a primate. Absolutely nothing like a primate, right? T-Rex, us. T-Rex, Sasquatch. They don't look anything alike. They're not designed anything alike. Right? So it's the T-Rex design is what it takes to create a 15-foot tall biped on planet Earth. And it looks nothing like a Bigfoot. So there you go. That says a lot. Now also, let's talk 15 feet. I mean, hell, I challenge you to go I challenge you to go outside your house right now, take a tape measure, and measure from the ground up 15 feet. Again, our ceilings are about 8 feet tall. Most people's ceilings are 8 feet tall. That's pretty standard. So 15 feet tall is up into the second story of say your average 2,000 square foot 2-story house. So if you have a 2-story house, just go outside and look up at a 2-story window and imagine basically a Bigfoot's head in the middle of it standing outside the window, and imagine a little outline. And that's what optically, that's what a 15-foot tall Bigfoot would look like. Like just something so completely wrong. I mean, an 8-foot tall one's got to be mind-blowing enough to look at, but a 15, and you start doing the scaling on the shoulders, and you're talking 6 foot wide shoulders now. No way. And that's why I say people, if somebody actually saw a Bigfoot and they came out of that thinking that it was 15 feet tall, they just got it wrong. And yes, they could get it wrong by 50% easily. Superimpose a 15-foot Bigfoot onto a 2-story house, man, would be like, no way. Just absolutely not. So yeah, the optics of it. And again, like, just measure 15 feet across your living room, and then imagine a Bigfoot body laying there, and then you start to get the sort of idea of scale of like realizing like, no, that's just not possible. And it's not possible because of the laws of gravity, the laws of physics, and the nature of nature, man. You'll never see a mouse the size of a car. You'll never see a Bigfoot 15 feet tall. And sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, but yeah, you just won't. So that's like, that's just not a possibility. We've got one taker. Dude, I had another point. I did not write down my talking points tonight. Just give me a second, guys. We'll do a little admin stuff. So yeah. There we go. So yeah, and I don't know how anybody's going to prove a Bigfoot's 15 feet tall without killing it. You know, either that or like just like really great footage. You know, like maybe like if the footage was good enough, but at that point, again, like I'm going, all right, well, you actually just proved something else. And I'm holding on to that one. I'm gonna hold on to that for a minute because Nikki wants in. I'm gonna bring her in, and then she can shoot the link to Brent, or I could whatever if Brent. So it would be kind of interesting to have Nikki and Brent, who I was supposed to be on, Nikki's show with those two, to have this discussion and sort of pick back up, or at least go some of the angles I brought into play here. Yeah, man, you get into so many issues. It's like I don't even. It's like I don't feel like you even need to bother about. Well, how much freaking food do they need, and how are they, getting oxygen circulated around their body becomes a very difficult thing. I'll tell you an interesting story about that, dealing with redwoods, and water. But so food and caloric intake and whatever other freaking weird problems would come. I mean, obviously, even if somehow they overcame the not being able to stand up thing. I mean, again, this isn't fucking Avengers movies, man. Like, it's not pretend. How are they forest giants, dude? By the way, like, again, let me remind you, the tallest human being to ever live, Robert Wadlow, 9 feet tall. The guy could barely walk, man, when he was a young man. A teenager into transitioning from teenager into young man. He had trouble walking, and again, he died because he was that tall, right? So, again, let's just say typical Sasquatch, 8 feet tall. Typical human being, male, 6 feet tall. So, if you transpose a 15-foot tall Bigfoot, what you get is that human beings are somehow capable of being 12 feet tall, like double their size. And we know that's not true. a human being could never grow to be that size again on planet Earth. You might could get them that tall on the moon. If you had generations of people on the moon, I don't know how many generations it would take, but eventually you start spitting out 12-footers. You know, why? Gravity, right? Gravity's different on the moon. So yeah, that was the point I lost earlier. And Nikki's here. We're gonna bring her in. Let's see. How do we click on it or do something? We just click on it and add to stream.
Hey.
And yes. Oh yes, there she is. Hey, Nikki, what's up?
How are you? You doing good?
Great. Yeah,
good.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thanks for jumping in. I thought maybe you guys, if you happen to catch the show, you might, because you know, I did give it that caveat of it was somewhat inspired by
I knew you would, because I'd seen your comment. You know, man, I knew you would want to talk about it. That's, you know, hence inviting you to come on, because I knew you felt passion for this one. So so that's why I did my studying up on it. And it happens, you know, tech stuff happens. So, but no, I'm glad you're bringing it back around, because, you know, not a lot of people know the sciencey part, or want to know. They, you know, they really don't really care about it. But,
yeah,
you know, many of us do. And it just, every little thing, I think we can make the encounters more realistic, more truthful. I don't know if that's the right word, but if we can, you know, get those descriptions to be scientifically correct, they have more merit. To me, they have more merit. But the minute you go over that 14, you know, 13, 14 feet mark, that I kind of not on the boat with that. So
yeah, I'm not. Nikki, again, because of the exponentialness, every foot is exponentially harder, and I
right,
don't know the exact math on that, you know, but
right. It's like 10
I laid it
times.
out, the best I could.
Right.
I have 10
For
feet.
bones. Of course, it's if you consider Bigfoot having bones like humans, we know that human bones collapse and crumble at 10 times the weight. So, and, you know, I gave an example of an obese person. Once they get to a certain point, they can't walk anymore and they become bedbound. That's because their bones just can't hold them anymore. And their muscles didn't get stronger the bigger they got. Okay. Because that's not how it works. It's just doesn't work that way.
No, it's and again, it's like I don't feel the need to get too deep into the minutia of that, although it can be done. Again, that is science. Those are things we understand as a species. To me, it's very
Right.
simple. You know, Robert Wadlow was 30% bigger almost than a typical human being, and the guy couldn't walk and he died because of it.
There's even some big basketball players that, have you noticed how they walk? Their knees start to go in. You know, kind of have this way of going in, you know, and walking like that.
Which is
My
that's
cat is
like
going
that's
to.
almost that's an interesting like separate discussion. And I know that you and Brent got into talked about some of that on that show, and that was very fascinating to me.
Stop.
Because it went into that like a different direction there. But yeah, the bottom line is that, you know, if the world's tallest, biggest human being was only 30% larger than the average male, then to say a double the size of a Sasquatch is just off the charts outrageous. I mean, it's not physically possible.
And a lot of
Not
these
not here.
stories of the big ones come from like Alaska, up in
Hmm.
upper BC and Canada, which kind of makes sense, because the colder an area, maybe the bigger they do get. But that's still, I don't feel, is enough to
No, God, no. To
warrant
overcome the
that
laws of
height,
physics, no. Yeah.
that big.
No, yeah. It's just absurd to me. There's literally no. I mean, you might as well be saying a mouse could be as big as a car. It's that dumb to me, you know. It's all design. Again, 15-foot biped. What does it look like? Just like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's what they look like. Completely different design. 100%
Right.
different.
Right. Yeah, completely. The bone structures, the density of the bones, different. They were created when they first came to existence. Their DNA had already structured those bones to be dense, to hold themselves, just like elephants, mammoths.
Right.
It's a different structure completely.
Yeah, but with the T-Rex, it was even more remarkable because the design gave this counterbalance with the tail, this big, huge tail coming off the end of its body, but also it had this huge elongated neck and giant freaking head, and there was balance. It balanced itself on 2 feet in a way, so like we balance ourselves like this on 2 feet,
Right.
like this, it balanced itself on 2 feet like this,
Mm-hmm.
like a teeter tot. And so that's not primate. That's not even close to primate. Looks nothing like a primate. Therefore, primates just can't get that big.
Right.
But so the third option, Nikki, is this. It's like if somebody could, observe a Sasquatch and some sort of conclusive observation, absolutely prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was 15 feet tall, then they just proved that Sasquatch is supernatural and paranormal as something that we just don't. It's unworldly. It's absolute. There's something else going on that we can't even begin to conceptualize.
Right.
It's really the only way that it could actually be. So like I don't know, it's like a cyborg. It's got hydraulic systems in it.
Oh man.
Or it is some kind of like wispy, like ghostly thing that doesn't, need to rely on the laws of gravity, and you know what I mean? Like absolute
Right.
paranormal woo, blow your mind, crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would, dude, if a Sasquatch, if you could prove that you observed one and it was actually 15 feet tall, you just proved that they are woo. They're not an ape. They're not a primate. You just changed the whole game.
Dang it, my dog just opened the door. Let me know if you hear my husband's TV, because this is an off day. He's allowed to have the TV on loud. So I might have to keep muting myself. But anyway,
I don't hear it. You
don't
can
hear
bounce
it?
off.
Okay, then we should
Bounce off chat for that one. I
be
don't hear it.
good. We should, yeah. Let me know, guys, if you hear too much noise in the background. See, now that made me lose the
Yeah,
point
well,
I
I
was going to talk about.
just basically laid out the case that the only third possibility could ever be is that these things actually are woo in a way that we don't understand. Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm. But you also have to consider that if it was proven that they could get taller than that 14, 15 foot mark, that then they are not human. They are not of our descendant. Okay. So now you're looking at something completely different in the evolutionary chain. So they may not be an offshoot of Homo sapien. It could be something completely different. Maybe
and
on a,
that even even scaling it down to that level of what you're talking about, like sort of keeping it real and within the boundaries, that's amazing. That would be amazing. And
that would be amazing.
That totally qualifies as supernatural. As the real meaning of the word, like supernatural. Like, we've never seen anything like this on planet Earth. This is like earth-shattering stuff, you know? How the design of this thing was able to overcome the laws of physics as we know them, that says that primate simply can't grow to that size. So yeah, there's the little wiggle room there with but again, I would classify that as supernatural, you know.
Yeah.
And the most supernatural thing on the planet, in my opinion, is the octopus. That's
thing, pretty alien. Yeah, it's pretty alien.
That thing was clearly dropped off here by the flying spaghetti monster, which makes sense, right? Like, right. That kind of makes sense. That's the most supernatural thing on the planet to me.
You know what I used to think was the weirdest looking thing was that horseshoe crab. That just looked like something out of the Aliens, you know? When you turn it over and it just looks all... I always thought, dang, where did this thing come from?
Sure. Yeah. Sea life has a way of being absolutely foreign looking to us, but it kind of makes sense. They're almost living on a different world. And
they're always discovering new stuff too, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
I love Enemy Mine, Kaiju. I love that movie. I do. Did you cry at the end? I cried at the end. Enemy Mine. Do you remember watching that one?
I don't remember that. I sounds familiar.
It's with Dennis Quaid and Lou Gossett Jr. Lou Gossett plays the alien. And they hate each other, where they kind of, but they end up being friends. Yeah, because they're like stranded on this planet, and then he has a baby, and then he raises the little alien baby, and it's so cute.
I sort of remember that plot ending. I don't think I ever watched that movie, but maybe I watched the end of it on TV one day or something. I don't know, because I remember that plot ending. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. It was totally. It is sci-fi. It is like out there, the storyline, but I don't know. It just had so much.
It was kind of ahead of its time.
It was feelings, you know. It had all kinds of feelings involved.
Well, yeah, and the males of that species have the babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little ahead of its time. Yeah, sounds very 2022.
Gosh, yeah. So anybody out there, go watch Enemy Mine. It's goofy and funny and sad. You got all the range of emotions.
Right. Yeah. So
Sharon says my husband cries at the film.
No, boy.
Oh, Father of the Bride cries at the film. Father of the Bride. That's funny.
Oh boy.
And Brent said he was going to come and jump on, but he's probably making dinner for his kids first, and then he was going to try to jump on.
Well, that's fine. I mean, either way, it's cool, you know. And just, I mean, again, I thought to just say, well, you know what? If Nikki and Brent happen to catch the show, I mean, it's Tuesday night. I don't know. There's not a lot of shows on Tuesday night that I follow, I think, but. And that's my old night. I used to do a show every Tuesday, but
right.
It was like, I'll bring him in just to have that discussion that I wanted to have with him that night so bad. You know, I was so frustrated. My internet.
Oh, he's backstage right now. Brent.
Is he? Oh,
message. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's. There he is. Okay, cool. Boom. And boom. Right. We good?
What's up, man? Pulled a Nikki and left me back there forever. Like left me hanging, bro.
Back there all the time.
No, but I do like.
I'm not.
I like when
I got a hodgepodge setup going on. My computer died, so I'm not.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I like it when Nikki actually leaves me backstage, so I get to listen to her sing sometimes. And
stop.
I'm gonna screen record. I if I was mean, I would screen record it and share it with everybody. And because she's great at singing, man, we got to have a karaoke night.
Right.
Yeah, man.
So
totally.
bad.
Dude, that happened once.
I'm like, please don't let her see me. She's there just rocking, getting ready for a show, doing her thing.
I'm
and
getting my mojo on.
you're getting your mojo on, and it's like,
I have to.
all right, man. What's she rocking to today?
That's funny. That happened once with Leon and me and Squatchbait. Like, I didn't know Leon had jumped in backstage, and him and I were bickering over something, probably something stupid. It was just bickering, like you do. And Leon was there the whole time, just like watching, listening to hear the whole thing play out.
You have to watch out because you can't.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't hear that little bing when somebody comes in. Well, first of all, I did not have the little alert thing saying that somebody was behind stage for forever, for almost this whole year. I didn't know it had a little alert thing. So after that, now I have an alert thing so I can hear when somebody comes in, it kind of goes ding.
Dang
if
it.
I'm not singing too loud, then I can hear it.
Dang it. Oh, sing away.
Cool.
Well, you missed today.
Up,
I was
Brent?
singing. I was singing to God, what was it? Hailstorm. I love that gal.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the new bands and stuff.
I'm not familiar at all. I'm not familiar with Hailstorm at all. Sorry.
At all? Oh, she's a rocker. Yeah. She's a hard rocker.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Cool. Well, then I'll check it out. I'll check it out later tonight.
She's good. The Steeple. She sings a song called The Steeple, and I just love it. That's what I've been going around the house singing. I can't sing her, but I love her.
I'm gonna listen to music for a couple hours once I wrap up the show. So yeah. What you got, Brent? What you got?
What I got? I got me, I guess. I don't know. No, I agree. 15-foot Bigfoot, for a bipedal animal, it doesn't make very much sense to go that big because the amount of energy needed to keep something that size going bipedally, would probably, the legs would probably have to be enormous, and who knows about the, it just seems like a lot. I can understand how if you're a quadruped being larger, like some of the older Ice Age animals that were here just not too long ago, twice as big as a lot of modern animals. And so
short-faced bear.
Yeah. But those again, were quadrupeds. So being a biped, I think you only go so much vertically because there's no real benefit at a certain point. I can see 8 foot, actually I just watched a video of a guy I think he's the world's tallest man now. He's like 8'4" or something. It's like, geez. And you can tell, the bones necessary, man, would just have to be huge to support something of 1,000 pounds and able to maneuver like they kind of do. It's I guess a lot of their weight's going to be in their bone density because that's
dude, no kidding.
Because
and is he an athlete? I'm guessing probably not.
No, he was just a random dude. You could tell that it is really limiting him in life as far as like his mobility and stuff. He can't navigate around as well and stuff. And I think there's going to be a certain point where he can't walk around at all anymore. So he keeps growing.
How old he is? How old is he?
I think he was in his 20s.
Oh man, they don't live very long. The amount of blood that it takes to circulate a body that size, it's massive, and the pressure on the heart, even the blood vessels in the legs they can't support all that blood, and they just burst and ulcerize. They get
Yeah.
ulcers, blood ulcers. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, I'll go with that word. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
You get
If not,
ulcerized.
if not, you own it now, and it
I
works
own
for
it.
me.
Yeah,
I like
y'all
it.
know what I mean.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
when it comes to those
Go ahead.
15-foot Bigfoots, I think it's probably just people misidentifying the height of it, which was really easy to do, especially in a time and moment where you're experiencing a lot of fear and stuff, or you're just making shit up, one of the two.
Yeah.
Or
So,
maybe it was a Bigfoot that was kind of climbing on a tree, and kind of looking on the side. It was maybe 3 or 4 feet up off the tree, off the ground, while climbing on the back of the tree. And people are like, "Oh yeah, it's at least 15 feet up on the top of the tree," and not realizing they're holding on to the back or something. So maybe that's a possibility for the 15-footers there.
Yeah, I mean, again, the sort of the way I just laid it out, I'm like, you're either misjudging it, sorry, dude, or you're lying, or Bigfoot is a cyborg with hydraulic systems. Like, I mean, or ghostly, wispy thing, yeah. So like, I used to paint houses, right? And, a random 2,000 square foot 2-story house, I'd use a 16-foot extension ladder to get up to the 2nd story window. Was the easiest ladder to use because I could put it up on the windowsill and have the window right there with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was every bit of 15 feet in the air. So, if not a little lower, 8-foot ceilings, 2 stories, with some floor joists in between. Yeah. I tell people, like, again, I'll go outside your house if you have a 2-story house and look up at your 2nd story window and imagine a Bigfoot's head in the middle of it, and then just imagine the body that would go with it, and you'll quickly go, nah, that's not a thing. It's just not a thing.
Is that even really a thing in the subject? I mean, what's the average height of Bigfoot reported in the subject? From my understanding, it's more towards the below 10 feet, more the 8 to 9 feet, depending on male, female.
It's I hear it. I mean, I hear it. The vast majority of people just kind of say 8 feet. It was about 8 feet tall. 8 feet.
I agree. 8 to 9 feet is what I normally hear. And I noticed something that as I was going through some of those higher numbers, they do tend to fall in that other category of what we call the woo. They also believe that 15 or 20 foot giant can also disappear into the trees. So
right. Or that
was something.
The Smithsonian is hiding giant human skeletons.
There was that redhead tall group they found, but that was still within human. It was still 7 feet, 6 feet and 7 feet tall. Redheaded skeletons.
We have plenty of humans walking around at 7 foot.
Yeah. So it was just a tribe, and they did discover all those, and those were real, but they're not 15 feet tall. They're not.
And I mean, you hear with the whole Smithsonian cover up, like some of those numbers get into 30, 50, 50.
I'd be like, what are you smoking, buddy? Like,
well,
damn, son.
And those just got lost. Those big ass things just
oh yeah,
just
big cover up. Big cover up. Yeah. Need Indiana Jones to find it.
Yeah, it's absurd,
Yeah, it kind of is.
I mean, so it's not even worth entertaining, but I guess a lot of people are attracted to the idea because it's okay. How can we take Bigfoot? Let's take Bigfoot, and we're getting a little bored of normal, Bigfoot stuff, and let's supersize it. Well, how cool would it be if it was 15 feet tall? Like that's that's cool, and they kind of want to believe in it. It so
Mhm.
becomes a cherished belief, even if they don't understand that. Does that make any
Right.
sense? Like, it just becomes a cool thing to believe in, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, look at trolls. Trolls are, from God, I forgot the country, but trolls, they're large, all the way up to like huge, like Statue of Liberty size. So, I mean, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe there's
At first, I'm like,
some.
trolls. Who's being a troll?
Yeah, no,
Who's trolling?
maybe there's some sort of love for the trolls and the love for those Bigfoots. I don't know. Maybe that's where it kind of comes from. It's a lot
Maybe.
cooler. Let's get some troll action going.
Well, they constantly want to attach the Nephilim and the giants of biblical times and all that. They want it, and they no.
And once you
that's a
do
big
that,
no for me.
once you do that, once you attach Nephilim to anything, then the possibilities are endless, because it's attached to God. It's
attached to magic,
godly thing.
Yeah.
And have you guys ever seen some of the things that have been posted, like implying that there were once 1,000-foot tall giants? It's a picture of not ancient but older what they call tiered gardening on the sides of mountains. So it looks like steps, and of course, what's right next to the tiered gardening, so that you can access. There are, little teeny tiny human steps.
Yeah.
It'll be like, well, what were these steps? Who were these steps made for? It's like
there has been years that the ancient civilizations have used tier gardening, especially in Asian countries, because their geography and landscape is so hilly and diverse like this, that everywhere is tier gardening, and it's amazing. It's amazing sight. Living in South Korea, I saw that every day, and it's just vast valleys where you just see that tiered full of rice and whatever cabbages. They just tons and tons of cabbage out there,
and it looks like
turnips.
Giant steps,
and they look like steps. They do. They look like giant steps, but it's the only way they can hold all that the ground together without creating the erosion. You have to do that.
Yeah, but then you have somebody coming along, centuries later or something, being like, "Oh, look at that! Giants use that." There's no way, I can't perceive gardening or whatever going on there.
Right.
Those are giants. Look at that.
Now we just take a little pill and we're full for the whole day.
Because giants need steps.
Steps to where? Steps to their spaceship. That's what it is.
So they can dock on top of the pyramids.
Yeah, it worked in Stargate, so I was like,
I know, I like that one.
Was it Stargate? Yeah, it was actually Predators too, I think. They utilized that. Something like
they did.
Yeah.
You're right.
They pulled a little Stargate ripoff. Oh, and by the way, Enemy Mine is a great movie. That was a good one. Dennis Quaid, Louis Gossett Jr. Love that movie. Saw it as a kid. I was like, oh wow, that's really incredible, and especially the the meaning behind it and stuff. It's great movie. Awesome recommendation there, Tristan. I think it's on Netflix too.
Now I'm gonna go watch it.
Well, I'll have to check it out one night, man. Good. So I don't know what else you got. Can Bigfoot be microscopic? What is this? They got the Honey I Shrunk the Kids ray. I mean, what's going on here?
Now that one I can prove. The baby Sasquatches. Oops, hold on, but I have to get my stuff out. Here's two great ones that I captured about a year ago, and
nice.
So they do exist.
Okay.
That they
well,
do.
You should send them to Meldrum or somebody. Maybe Hijack. I don't know.
I never have studied their feet though. Oh, pretty interesting.
Meldrum will pass anything off now.
My cat is going to tear down my flat as a pancake. Sorry.
Yeah. I guess still no Bigfoot's discovered yet, huh?
No, I mean, and unless Grandma hit one 30 minutes ago, and we just haven't heard the news yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess not, huh? Yeah, I mean, road sightings are supposed to be the most common ones. So
pretty common, man. Yeah. I have a lot. I passed through a lot of roadside crossings in North Georgia, like where there were. You know what I mean? I know, like kind of where they were. I'm like, God, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy, man. Like, I'm almost creeped out by it. I don't know that I should be, but.
Well, that's when you want to kind of pull over and check out the area and kind of go explore in the woods and see what you find. Who knows? You might find something cool and awesome.
It's pretty. I mean, it's tough terrain. Some of it, not all of it, but some of it would be like, tough terrain. There really is no place to pull over. It's a mountain road. It's like there's no overlook there or anything. It's just a part of the road, It's like, man, you don't want to. Well, I'm talking like, like walking up like that, man. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a calf burner, man. That sucks. That's when you want to send your drone up there or something, or
exactly
someone else.
Just sit on the back of the car and go, huh? Well, let's go check this out.
Yeah, I got to get one next year. Got to get one.
Yeah. Well, what kind of one?
An affordable one, so it's not going to be like anything like Randy Harrington got or anything. So I mean, he should be getting some good results with that here pretty soon, right?
Should be.
The canopies should be going down here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
So he should be able to dive in there because it's like 400 acres, so you should be able to bust that bad boy out fairly quickly.
It just depends on if he's like, if he's actually looking around the entire 400 acres, man, or if he just tries to focus on one area. It all depends on the tactic.
I wonder how loud that drone's going to be from off the ground, because I remember when Tate brought his to Bumping Lake, it was like 600-700 feet away, and it was still really loud. It was incredibly loud.
I've never heard my drone from 600 or 700 feet. Never.
Yeah. Well, this here was probably because it was right up next to a rock wall area, so it could have been amplifying the sound down.
It could have been
something. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but it was loud. So I wonder how loud the one that he has is going to be. If he's going to have to like launch it far away and then like come down from the top to not scare him away. Because I don't know, man. It sounds like a bunch of like bees out there swarming at you. So if I was a Bigfoot, I'd be like, "Ooh, what the heck is this?" and like go take cover wherever they take cover at. I don't know.
It just depends on if they can take cover. So assuming, and see, to me, that's an assumption that they would hear that sound and it would even bother them. It doesn't seem to bother deer. So just heads up. Deer don't seem all too concerned about that sound. You can get pretty damn close to them with a drone. But deer, man, they're skittish as fuck,
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what their results are because, I'm kind of looking forward to it because it sounds like that there's a lot of potential there.
But if there's not
right
much
on the
cover,
precipice,
if it's just the woods that they have to sort of flee into, like they normally do with us or whatever, I mean, the drone could easily follow them. So
yeah. So I don't know, man. Might have this thing solved in the next few months. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
We'll see, man. Like, we'll see. I need to have a private conversation with both of them, and I don't know. We'll see.
No, it's good. A lot of potential. I want to get that new camera that Matt was talking about, that GoPro.
Dude, that thing is off the chain.
Yeah, I'm getting one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's insane. That's like perfect, dude. You know, because that's such an issue is the stabilization and all that crap.
If Joe just would have been wearing one of those things on his chest when he had his encounter, I mean, that's the possibility we're talking here. If Joe just would have had that damn thing on his chest, I mean, this discussion would be over.
Yep.
You know?
And so at that price, that's pretty affordable. I mean, you could get a couple of those.
It is very affordable. But will Bigfooters take the time and to strap up like cops do every day with body cameras?
That's the problem.
Curious, though, you know?
Well, I mean, the problem is going over the footage. I mean, unless you have a something that's going to alert you to check the video, you're going to have all that video that is going to add up very quickly, very, very quickly, that is just going to sit in your hard drive and doing nothing. That's what we were kind of talking about with Wizard and Adirondacks the other night on Sean's show. He's got all this data, as far as video and stuff like that, but you just can't go through it because it's such a massive task. I got terabytes full of stuff that it's like probably never going to go through. No, but it's there. It's that's kind of the problem with having, all the cameras set up, especially if you're at 60 frames per second, because that's just doubling the size of the data there. So it's just like, geez, it takes forever to download that stuff.
No, I don't. I mean, to me, that's not even on my radar. Forget like all that data collection. I'm just talking about if you think you might could elicit an encounter with a Bigfoot, you have a surefire way to film that encounter, i.e., just like an encounter like Joe's, to where bam, there it is. Clear day.
Well, that's why you have to be filming constantly, because you're not. When something like that happens, I can just see you freeze and you're watching, and your body does that fly, whatever. All of that happens. Yeah, so you have to be filming. You may not have to look through all your stuff, but at least it's there in case something does happen. You've got it there. But I don't think I would do that.
The moment.
How many frames a second did you say you had it set at? 62, 60? You said?
60? Yeah.
I think I would time mine so that it wouldn't be that much. It would be.
Well, I mean,
first of all, I would buy. A handful of cards, one for each day of the week, and then I would rotate them out. But of course, I wouldn't be walking more than 2 or 3 hours in a hike. So, I would make sure my card could hold that much for me to go and come back, and then that would be it.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to rig up some kind of quick trigger that was extremely, extremely simple, easy to use quick trigger, so that if you came across the beast standing 20 feet in front of you, just tap your chest or push a button on your.
Even then, man, you're always going to have to be recording. I tried to take a picture of a bobcat the other day, and I couldn't. I had the camera in my hand, and I just tried to lift it up like that, but I made a slight little noise, like just a little noise.
Yeah.
And it hurt it, and then just took off. So you always need to be recording forward and backwards. But again, you're right. It's something like that is mainly for, if you have some sort of experience out there of a Bigfoot coming at you, or, like you see one like Joe did, or something like that. So, I mean, that's more for, but yeah, you always should be filming out there. And, with the 60 frames per second, I mean, that will give you the most, it gives you the most frames. So if there's something there in the forest, you got, twice as many frames to look at it, the pixel peak, I guess, as you can call it. And so
it's actually better to do that.
Versus the 24 or 30 frames, because cinema is at 24 frames per second, because that's what we're used to. But usually cameras are at 30 frames per second. And, it's something that everybody can adjust on there. And it just kind of, it just picks up different, the amount of information it's able to pick up. and stuff. So, but it uses so much more data. So if you're transferring it over or something like that, if you have multiple SD cards from like, a weekend outing and you have like 5 cameras set up and that's like 24 hours, let's say, times 5 cameras, it's like, man, nobody's going through that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I'm not going through that. Yeah.
Let's look at this from the hoodwinker side, okay? You get all this film, and what they do is they release it. They release 30 minutes at a time on their channels, and what happens? People who go and watch it, all of a sudden, hey, dude, at 3 minutes and 24 seconds,
I saw
there was a Sasquatch there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then another person, oh yeah, I see what you're seeing. And the next person says something else, and the next, and it just festers.
It builds. It builds on itself.
Yeah.
And you could do the same thing even more brilliantly, I think, with live cameras, and do a lot, and some people have, I'm not going to say any names. I'm not casting stones here, but some people have done live shows with live cameras, and the same thing happens. It'll, especially if you start introducing the narrative,
right?
The people will follow, right? So you're right, Nikki. It just it's like a fire. It builds like a fire, man.
I mean, I'm sure we've all had it where you show something and then people are like, "Oh, did you see this and that?" And I'm like, "No, I was out there. There was nothing out there. There was nothing out there." Okay.
Right. Yeah.
We walked back and forth and there was nothing there. So whatever you're seeing is just whatever you're making up.
It was like, what was that?
Uh-oh. Am I frozen or are you? Oh, okay. You're moving.
I can move.
Ooh. Okay. I didn't know if it was me or not.
I know. I was like, oh, geez.
Oh, man. He had a good point, too.
Looked like he was going to sneeze. Yeah.
He might have to go and come back in.
Yeah, but that's why I don't really like to go over the footage again, because like I mentioned before, you will find something if you want to. If you're going to pixel peek, you'll find something to look like
Shall
a face.
we name a couple of big names or no?
Yeah. Oh, I name them all the time. I have no problem with naming my homeboy Mark Zasky.
Carpenter's huge for doing that. Huge.
Yeah, he's huge.
Oh, look, I wasn't the first to say it. B. Lynn said it first. Thank you, B.
Yeah, Scott Carpenter did make that popular as far as the cameras turned backwards. Yeah, and so he does have some good stuff, but it just seems like, I don't know, he kind of went out there.
He got out of control. He was good in the beginning. I watched him, but
yeah, he was trying too hard. Maybe it's like he was looking too hard, and it, you go on a different path when you are trying too hard. You'll get different results.
Shoot, I even used to watch Michael Merchant. Oh my God.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, he just blocked me, so I'm like, you jerk. Yeah, he blocked me. So I'm even blocked on his YouTube channel too. For nothing, literally, for just like pointing out. I did call him a hypocrite, but that was only because it was true. It's not bad if it's true, right? Right? Like if I was a hypocrite, I would be like, hey, call me a hypocrite, but it's not bad if it's true, and I was nice about it. Like kind of hypocritical, that anyways, so yeah, but he does have some good content. I like the way he thinks. It's different, and it's interesting to see his character arc from the Team Taser days all the way to the plant people nowadays. So it's always fun. I like him though. Even though he blocked me, I like him.
Yeah.
My internet crashed briefly. Don't know why. What's up? What were we talking about? Team Taser? Who? Let's see.
Oh yeah, we were talking about Michael Merchant. Yeah. Yeah, he blocked me and stuff. He didn't like what I had to say about the whole Randy Brisson thing, so he blocked me, and which is cool. I respect it. I get it. I was kind of expecting it almost, not to be blocked, but him not to really agree with it. Yeah, it's all good though.
The giant mole.
I need to get Michael on the show. I want to have Michael on my show.
God.
I want to have a discussion.
That would be interesting.
Then I can pop in, be like, I can pop in like an hour and be like, whoa, hey guys, what's up? I thought I was going to Nikki's show or something. I didn't mean to come here. We can stage the whole thing, plan it out. You're like, hey, what's up, Michael?
No, I mean that's. I mean, yeah.
No, I don't want it.
No, we're just joking. He's just...
No. I like Michael. I think having him on is good because he has interesting perspectives about things, and he's just a fascinating person to know. Really, like some of his videos are hilarious.
Was it Michael Merchant,
the
one who was fighting with Randy Filipovic?
Who was
fighting with Randy? I know somebody was. Was it Rick Dyer or was it
Merchant? Oh, I think a lot of people was fighting
with a lot of people. I know he's still around the coalition. Every now and then I see him around the coalition.
Yeah. Well, he was part of. No, he wasn't part of Team Taser. Randy wasn't, because I know that was a group of people that was, I don't know. It was weird. Like it was 10 years ago.
I know he used to fight. So I thought it was with Michael Merchant.
What happened to Rose Sahibi?
Yeah, whatever happened to those guys?
He disappeared after that. His whole stint with Smeha and that
with Justin
video, the documentary he did, which I thought was good. Then after that, I thought he would do more. I don't know. I lost track of him completely.
Yeah, I got burned out, huh?
Yeah, Ro and Justin both disappeared off the Bigfoot world stage.
Funny.
But yeah, I never knew what happened with Ro not being around in the Bigfoot world anymore. I mean, it doesn't matter. It just you say Team Taser, that I think it's fucking Ro, man.
Yeah, man, that was like quite the group back then. Literally quite the group. They were rowdy too. That was before my time in the subject, but I was able to catch some of the stuff that was still available.
All right.
Rowdy group. They like to go after people.
Yeah. Did you guys? Yeah, it's funny. Did you guys see the Brendan from Catskill? Clark. I call him Clark. He invited me to co-host with him with Kip Morrell.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys ever see that show?
Yeah, man, that was a fun one, dude.
Yeah, they started talking about that video, and I was.
Man, you got wound up.
Because, he got a little defensive about it, but that Ro and Justin were like at the campsite, right there by where everything was happening, right? Ro and Justin were at that campsite, and somebody else, I can't remember who the other person was.
Oh, it was the cutie, the hottie. What was his name? Dang it. What was his name?
So are you saying that what they have on the video there with that thermal video is most likely like someone from the camp?
I mean, that was my first thought, but I mean, whatever
I don't know.
They explain that away, and that's fine. All I know is that what I saw in that video, I couldn't hammer it enough. I'm like, it's inconclusive, and it's a blob. It's a blobby thermal. It's bullshit thermal. It's horrible thermal.
Yeah, well, I think
truly get to any kind of depth and distance there.
Yeah, well, I think where you guys kind of went different directions is where, I think they wanted to talk more about it and the situation around it, and talk more about Kip's journey around it and that whole thing versus trying to vet it out and say conclusively that this is what it is. Yeah. That's not what it is. Even though they did ask you, like, hey, what do you think? And you did, and he
didn't seem to like that.
Well,
so he kind of played along with my objections. Yeah.
Well, I think it was getting to a point where you kind of had to, put it out there because you were definitely letting them know, which, is kind of what you want to do. But yeah, I think more of that format, what they were going for is to have Kip talk more and versus, vetting out that evidence, which is subjective, really. I mean, you can't really. I don't know. I don't know if it's Bigfoot or not.
I'm just so bad at that. Once you get me hyper focused on it's inconclusive.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm not going to let it go if you play along. You know.
But that's why you're Pat. That's why we all love you. That's why it's like it's all good, man. I saw it on my feed, man. That's Pat, man. He's going for it, and it's cool. It's cool, man. We all are who we are. And
I
stuff,
have my place here.
Yeah.
I have my place here. It's not for everybody, you know.
Yeah, but it was good to see you back on.
Really trying to get to 1,000 subs, so it's not for everybody.
You'll get there, but you know, it was good to see you back on Kark again. You know, there's no bad, you know, whatever, you know. So it's good. All's good. So.
It's Brendan was cool with it. I mean, he kind of laughed it off after the fact. I was like, okay, whatever, you know. But yeah, I was on that channel again recently. We had a great discussion, me and you know, Mikey and what's his face.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it. It's not too bad.
Yeah, no, it was a good discussion.
Yeah, we're
what you
got Sean's having Tate Hieronymus on tomorrow night.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, he just came out with the Bumping Lake.
I need to watch
part three of his documentary series, which I highly recommend you check it out. Tristan's actually in it. He's one of the big stars in it. So check it out. That's the one that I went to, and a lot of fun.
Is that the Sabe thing?
Sabe, yep.
Sabe.
Okay.
Sabe.
Yeah.
What?
So he's on he's on part 3 right now. But he did really good.
I watched some of that the other night. Yeah. It just came out a few nights ago, or several nights ago. Yep. I watched some of that. I opined on it last night.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's good. I liked it.
Okay, so that's tomorrow night, Brent.
Yeah, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Eastern
Pacific
or Western?
Pacific Western Pacific Standard Time.
Hold on, let me bust out my calculator.
Yeah, it's 3 hours. So that's 9 o'clock Eastern.
Damn it, Brent. I was gonna use the calculator and make it official.
You just want to type boobs in there and just turn it upside down. Come on.
You're just...
Come on.
Oh man, good one, dude. That was good. That was good. Yes. Okay, so tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, which is where everybody lives, is on the East Coast. Right, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can I get a fact check on that, Tim? Okay,
finally.
so
Barcatino's who I was thinking of.
Oh, Barcatino, yeah. What's he doing? Is he still on the subject?
He's still with the Olympic Project, but he
lives in Florida, doesn't he?
Oh, does he? Oh, well then he's not with
so,
the Olympic Project anymore.
I mean, you can still be with the Olympic Project and not live there.
I agree. I mean, like the audio dude. Forget. God, what's his name, man? I love that guy.
Chris Spencer.
Chris Spencer.
Chris Spencer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
I forgot your
He's
name, man.
there.
It's been a long week, bro.
They've got a pretty good group. I'm looking at their list of researchers and pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is I asked them to look into the world's greatest Bigfoot audio ever, which is like that's pretty much the title on YouTube. And it is freaky audio, dude. Of the couple that gets stranded on the side of the road in Northern California.
Oh yeah.
And the shit they recorded on their video camera, the audio from it.
Well, I thought they did already. I thought they said those were dogs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
that's the one where they were scared and the dogs were scared in the back of their.
Yes.
Clipper Mills. Yeah, I thought that was coon dogs or something.
Yeah,
well,
somebody put it through a.
That's what Chris
Yeah.
told me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, like, unbeknownst to me, I mean, this is always, I remember hearing it years ago and being like, oh my God. And because you have to admit, dude, it's
like, wow, what's that?
Scary sounding shit. It just goes to show you, right? If that's just dogs, like, wow, those conditions can exist for dogs to sound like monsters. And yeah, and so when I had him on the show, I had wrapped up the show and I just asked him casually, like, "Hey, man,
hey Pat, do you got him?
I got it.
You got it. All right, okay.
What? Oh, what was
it?
Naked chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me the link. I'll vet it out. Make sure there's no virus.
Okay, all right. Roger that. So anyway, yeah, I just casually asked him to do it, and then, like, I don't know, a few weeks later, he came back to me with he was like, "Man, those are hound dogs or whatever." Yeah, it's what they sound like. That's what it sounds like. I was really impressed, man. It's like, I was like, I just kind of like off the hip asked you to do that, and he actually did. I was very impressed with that guy. Yeah.
I mean, there's some good people on the Olympic project. You know, Shane Corson, and I think that they went to the conference this last weekend, which found out Adam Davies went to after the fact, or not after the fact.
Your buddy?
A little bit beforehand. Dang it, I could have asked all my questions right there. Then I forgot to message somebody. Yeah, then I forgot to message somebody who was probably going to be there and say, "Hey, man, can you ask Adam these questions?"
Yeah.
During Q&A. But nope.
Again, you and I have talked about this, Brent. I would have Adam on my show. It's kind of hard. I mean, hard to know exactly what to do with that, though. I don't ever want to have anybody on my show for the purpose of it being confrontational or like debate. If I'm going to debate somebody, I want it to be fair, right? I want it to be neutral, and there's a moderator involved. I'll debate anybody in this world under those conditions. Anybody, famous fucking people, But yeah, I mean, that's a tough one, because it's like, I mean, where do I go with that and still hold my principles?
It's not really a debate. It's just it's not really a debate. It's just like, it's just discussions. Really, it's like, hey, what's your thoughts about this, and what's your thoughts about this evidence, and it's all about being cool and just having good discussions. And if he thinks something different, then that's cool, man. At least we know.
Once you get to the point of, so you guys didn't think to bring a video camera to a portal opening that lasted for hours?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, he just wrote a book too.
Even asked him that question, like, you could have filmed it, right? It's
lots of questions
for a long period of time.
But that's
your answer to that, bud.
But that's Adam Davies is the origin of the Bigfoot portal, or not the origin, but the reintroduction of the Bigfoot portal. And right now that everybody talks and makes fun of, everybody's tries to blame it on Matt, but no, man, it was Adam Davies who found that bad boy, him and John Carlson that found it. And it's that's I don't know, people should ask, hey man, what do you think about that? Because he wrote a book, Monsters and Portals. I haven't bought it yet. It's fiction though.
He should have filmed the film Monsters and Portals, because he had a portal at his disposal for what I understand to be hours and maybe days at a time.
Well, he had a little flashlight, actually a flashlight like this that he was able to turn the portal off with. Just a little flashlight like this.
The portal.
Yeah, yes. At 150 feet. At 150 feet with this little guy right here at 150 feet. It's like, really? So what happened that night? What happened? This is such a fascinating thing of what actually happened, because we got 3 people talking about seeing the same thing, and it wasn't. And Adam and John were like, third parties to them. So that's interesting.
Yeah. That is interesting. Interesting discussion it would be.
Yeah, I tried to talk to him publicly, about it.
Yeah, I know.
But it was a kind of a no-go. He won't go on any show, I don't think, that I'm associated with or even been on or even like even smell me close to. I don't think he'll go on it because he knows that people will ask him questions that, are like that, even though people will be respectful to him.
Yeah.
It's just weird how it's so taboo to ask people about their experiences that they went and made a lot of fuss about. But I am going to do a video about that trail cam picture. I'm going to reach out to Adam again and be like, hey man, if you want any 2022 thoughts about that trail cam photo, yay or nay, and kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
Make another video.
It's just so tough. I mean, I got asked the question last night. It's like, I don't ever want to have to ambush anybody. I guess there could be a circumstance where I felt this is what I need to do. But like somebody asked me last night in chat, would you ever try and get Steve Isdell on your show? And I'm like, the only way I'm getting that guy on my show is if I type a very clever email that's completely not true, and that I just feed to him what he wants to hear and tell him who I am that is along the same thinking as him. That's the only way I could get him on the show, and that's disingenuous. That's an
yeah. Yeah,
right?
you don't ever want to do anything like that. There's no reason why people can't have discussions about stuff that they're publicly talking about and promoting and making money off of and stuff like that. I don't see any reason why people can't have healthy adult conversations about it, but apparently it's too taboo to, and people don't want to talk about it because
I would talk to Steve Isdell, like an real open discussion. I would talk to Todd Standing, real open discussion. Adam Davies, you name it. It's just you and I both know, and Nikki too, man, that they're not just gonna come on my show with an invite. I would have to feed them so much bullshit and stroke their egos so hard that that's not me. So
yeah, no.
The instant you would rebuke anything they say, that would be the end of it. That with them, that would be it.
Boom.
Yeah. I'm not expecting Adam to really make a comment or probably even respond to what my message will be, but at least I tried, so that's all I'm really cared about, doing a thorough investigation and do that and finish up the Randy Brisson, do the Sasquatch Chronicles one.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just got
to reach out to West for that one.
I don't want to talk to most of those people anyway. There's like a list of interesting people I want to talk to that is that's totally in the other direction. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean more serious people that are have that probably doing more for the subject. You should have Wizard Adirondacks on. He has a lot to talk about. Yeah, he's doing a really good investigation. He's
a researcher. I'm going to tell you right now, I was so impressed with the way he keeps track of shit, man. I was pretty impressed by that.
Yeah.
Where did I see him recently? Was he on Sean's show?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so hopefully, he gets invited on more into the discussion because he's doing some really good stuff that a lot of people who are watching us can learn from, even the people that are more veteran or whatever. But it's all about, showing what good research is, giving examples of what good research is, because people need that. We can talk about it all we want, but we need examples of how it should really be done. And in my opinion, he's one of the top. Him, Matt, and people like him are like doing some of the best investigation work, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah, you're digging what Matt's throwing down right now.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, the way he is questioning things, the way he is interested in articulating and approaching things is really on par of where an investigator really should be at. You know, it's a good mind frame, good mind place for him to be at. And you know, he's only like 2 years in, man. It's like, you know, he luckily he was able to listen to all the discussions that we had, all those panel discussions over the last couple of years and stuff, and really kind of apply it to his own investigation, which he himself said greatly improved it, especially with his conversation with Leon. So, you know, there's great example, and I'm all about examples. So,
yeah, sure. And what do you think about, you know, what's coming down the pipe with Matt with this whole PG camera testing thing? I'm super interested in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I forgot to actually get him in contact with, like, I think it was Daniel Perez. I think it's Daniel Perez. That's really, because there's other people that are highly interested in it. It's like, man, Matt would just fit in right with them and really have a lot to bring to the table as well. So I think getting the right people together is going to be great, because we might learn some more information about it. You know, the more we know, the better, and getting the right-minded people together to work on problems like that, I think is going to be fascinating, especially having like the technology that they used back then. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. I can't wait to see like what Matt gets, because he brings a professional skill set to the table with the camera. Obviously, he's a professional videographer in media for God knows how many years. Sorry.
Yeah, Matt. he can break it down and explain it to us, what we're looking at with the stuff that he's going to be presenting to us, and really help us probably break down the PG film and better understand that. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely the right person for that project. And I got to remember, write myself a note to get those people together.
You or I think I could point him that direction too, to Daniel.
Yeah.
I didn't know Daniel was experimenting with that camera either.
I can't remember if it was Daniel. I remember it's one or two people in the coalition, because there was just a post about it a couple months ago.
Right. I remember that's what you said. Like wherever I saw that, where you and Leon popped in to Matt's show that a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was. You did say Daniel Perez on that show. I remember.
Yeah,
I remember going, "Oh, really? Daniel has a camera? I didn't know that."
Yeah, I think it's Daniel. I'm pretty sure, but it might be Jamie Wayne. You know, I just have to double check that post. Yeah. But I think Daniel was involved because Daniel knows a lot. He's a historian for Bigfoot, the Bigfoot subject. So he's like, I mean, he knows virtually everything about it. Has the most extensive library of Bigfoot stuff ever.
Yeah. That's like my buddy Ernie. I call him the Wikipedia of Bigfoot stuff, especially going like back to like anything from the 60s, 70s, even 80s. You know, he just fucking knows. Like, he knows all the names, all the players. I'm like, I can't hardly keep up with that, man. But yeah,
you know, it's one of those things. Tristan, I think Sean wants to get Paul on there. I just have to ask, I guess. Kind of bad about that. Paul Graves.
Oh, sorry.
He's a investigator here in Washington. He was out there at Bumping Lake with me and Tristan, and he helped document a track line in the snow in eastern Washington. That you know, and he's a really good investigator. You know, it's unfortunate we can do more this year with him because of all the fires and stuff. The road was closed from most of the summer anyways. But he's a really good investigator that you know, he's just a good guy to have out there and go Bigfooting with. Has a lot of good experiences and sightings and stuff out there at Bumping Lake. It's like the place to be, man. Bumping Lake.
Evidently.
You know, I was talking to Tristan about this. You know, it's like, you know, literally virtually every weekend there's a Bigfoot group out there, even a different Bigfoot group that don't associate with other Bigfoot groups. You know, like, because some are woo, some are apers, some are BFRO, some are whatever, private, whatever. Right. And it's just amazing that they're, you know, it makes you wonder. I was even thinking about it, like, someone should create a Bumpy and Lake Facebook page and like, hey, you guys should maybe share some data, because I bet you there's some fucking patterns in there that's going to help dial in the areas, because they go to the same areas. Like literally everybody goes to it. The same names for it and stuff. And it's like, nobody's sharing data. So it's like, oh, well, it makes you wonder if people did.
Brent, based on what you just said, maybe they're dialing each other in.
I wonder about that. I look around, I'm like, on other people's trail cams, is there an audio recorder out here long term or something? And you always wonder about that when you go to places that are, others go to.
What I've heard a somewhat famous story, I don't even know if it's true or not. So about 2 different BFRO groups, and let me get my camera angle right, wooing and knocking themselves into each other. Like they were both doing calls unaware that there was another BFRO, and I
think I heard that. Yeah.
And like, oh, like, so that's kind of what I'm talking about. With if saturated with Bigfooters, then you're gonna get Bigfooters doing what they do, the trees and whooping and all that silly shit.
You get the human contamination part, but that's why it would be great for them to have schedules too. Be like, hey guys, okay, so I'm going to be at this place at this time. Right. You want something more ideal, but it's like literally every weekend there's a new investigation group there trying to solve it at these same 2 campgrounds, literally. And it's like, man, it's just a little
convoluted. Yeah.
And it's just like, man, it just makes you wonder if people actually work together, and not on all aspects. Like, oh, you need to believe this orb video, or whatever. It's just like, hey, we heard a whoop at this time in this area.
Exactly. Over that, I mean, well said. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the hell you believe. How about this? Let's have a starting point. Let's just all agree on a starting point. There's a whoop. It comes from this direction. What the fuck is that? Let's investigate it. Whatever shit like that, right? Or there's wood knocks coming from here. Wood knocks coming from there. What is that? And like, you might think it's Nephilim. I might think it's King Kong. Whatever, it doesn't matter. All we know is that we're here together and it's happening.
That's Yeah, but unfortunately, we're in a subject where people don't like to share that type of data because they want to be the ones with the amazing data. They don't want to share the data because they don't want somebody to go in and scoop up the area. So
because they're going to be the ones.
So and I've encountered people like that. Like I had to falling out with people because of that, and so which is why again the subject is where we are. Just a bunch of weekend warriors trying to do the best we can, but we can't do it because we don't work together.
And I can't say it any better than that. Thank you, Brent. You're on point tonight. You made the best joke of the show. You freaking just made a very poignant, articulated, well thought out point. Like, I don't know where to go with the show from here. I might turn off my camera and leave. Nikki, you start singing. Brent, keep talking.
We could do a duet, Nikki. We could do a duet or something.
Yeah.
We have so many ideas and we never follow through with any of them.
It's hard like how you, right? It's hard to. I mean, if you were like, you guys have creative ideas. If you were both full-time YouTubers, you could live out those creative ideas, but man, life gets in the way, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I tried texting him during the day and I know he's like in the middle of work busy. And I'm like, damn it, text me back.
Yeah.
But I know it won't be until around 5 his time, He'll get back to me. And don't ask him to do homework because good Lord.
Luckily the kids are smart.
Hey, so here's some links, Brent. So read up on some of this, right?
I tried. I send them the slides.
No, she does. She does. Yeah, she does. She does everything, man. She's the hardest working woman in the business here.
So we know what we're talking about.
Nikki, you come to your show 10 times more prepared than I ever come to my show, like on any given night. Like I fly by the seat of my pants, man. I really do. But
yeah, same here. I wing it.
yeah,
I'm like, oh, we're talking about this today.
I get paranoid. I don't want people to ask a question and me go, oh, I didn't know.
No, yeah, you're very prepared.
You know?
Yeah, you had square cube law all laid out with the like all the minutia and everything that went along with it. Like again, even better than I understood it at the time. Like, damn.
I didn't have to say anything.
Now I taught Pat.
Yeah.
Well, I had to do it that way so that I could understand, because that's what my whole point of my show is, that I'm teaching this because I want to know, and I want to make sure I know the right way so that I can have these conversations. Really, Bigfoot can't get that big, people. And if he does get really big, how are you going to feed something that big? How many calories can that thing eat to survive?
Imagine the poo.
The poos would be, you get a 20-foot thing out there. Imagine the poo. Wouldn't we be running into poo that big? They're really going to be digging their poo and hiding it.
Imagine if you had the runs, shoot.
I bury mine out there.
You researchers, you're not sliding around in the mud. You're sliding around in Sasquatch poo.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, that's what those big petrified down trees are.
Bust out the DNA kits and make sure you send it to Ken Walker or Jeff Meldrum.
Yeah, good old DNA. I was talking to Randy Brisson about DNA a couple of weeks ago, and he's about ready to send some DNA off that's going to blow this whole thing wide open. DNA and Bigfoot's going to be proven. So, a lot of good opportunities out there for some Bigfoot becoming real.
Yeah. What are we going to compare that to? His mama?
To Melba Ketchum, actually, a DNA geneticist that's like, I don't know, man. She owns her own own journal.
She's a vet. She's just
she owns her own journal. She published that. Correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Minor details we don't need to talk about. We just need to.
Well, yeah.
She's legit.
Yeah.
Do we need to go back over the DNA stuff, people? It's right here.
No, it's still out there. It's like, oh.
I do not have a DNA showing me at night. Yes. You guys
people
can
are still
come back tomorrow.
Find a Bigfoot.
Man, shit. I don't know what time to go. I don't want to step on Sean's toes. Fuck. I don't know. I guess I'll go on at 7 tomorrow. And do something wacky. Maybe I'll do something wacky.
Yeah, like he should dress up or wear a really ridiculous hat, because that's the thing in this subject. You got to have a hat. Like, I got a hat. I'm the beanie guy.
Hat. All right.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna push back on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
I was told it's not called a beanie. Who told me?
I'll say this about it's a Ken and Kyle, right? Not maybe or maybe not related to what you're talking about. Those guys are actually like, they have background in the rockabilly scene, as musicians and being a part of that scene, and those hats they fit in. Like that's part of the look, man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
the rock star.
So for that, I say it's genuine. Like, that's how those guys look, man, because they love that scene, they love that music, they play that music, and so that's just a part of who they are. So take it for what it's worth. That's my 2 cents about, like, because I know people in the coalition, they'll kind of make fun. They'll say stuff about the hats, and I'm like,
it's a friendly jab of, it's for branding, for marketing purposes. Really, it helps people remember who you are, and sure, it probably keeps the rain out of your off your jacket or whatever, but it's more for branding purposes. I mean, it's really important to for that stuff. But
well,
I
I
mean,
tell you this again, like I was a part of that industry, and man, when you step out on the stage in front of people, like you want to sound good, but you also want to look good. Like you want to bring the whole package of entertainment in a theatrical way. And so I get why that can carry over into the Bigfoot world. I
just think it's like
I do a little bit of that, you know, but I don't bring my whole stage, you know, musician stage persona to
well, that's what you should do with your tomorrow show. Then. Tomorrow show, maybe then, man. Bring it.
Bigfoot and rock.
Yeah. Bring it, dude.
I mean,
Bring
you
it.
know,
I'll put a bandana on
hints of it
for that.
You get hints of it here and there.
Yeah.
It's got
but
in it, though.
But yeah,
no, man.
I don't know.
No, it's all good. I mean, I just think it'd be really hot to wear something like that, like one of those leather hats.
Like I could just hat, yeah,
like how you know they all wear and stuff. It's like, man, that's gonna be hot. Like out in the forest, like 5 minutes, I'll be like, okay, where am I putting this hat at? And then it's like, well, where do you store a hat like that? You can't put it in your backpack because it takes up so much room. So you got to put it on the outside of your backhand. Yeah, you know. Well, you know, some of those leather hats, it's like, so it doesn't make any sense to have a hat like that. It's like when people go out there Bigfooting or hiking or whatever in jeans, it's like, oh man.
Oh, please. All you need is for a woman to tell you look hot in one of those hats, and then you'll be having one of those hats on.
I don't know. I don't know.
I have to tell my husband, oh, that'll really look good.
Yeah.
We got a surprise. We have a surprise latecomer. Let's see. Wait.
Shall we guess? Let's guess. Hurry. Oh,
nope.
I knew it.
Ta-da!
It's gonna be Jeffro.
How's Brent and Nikki doing?
Good.
Fantastico.
I enjoyed watching the show. It was I was surprised to see old Timmy Boy back in chat again tonight. Haven't seen him around in a while.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's in there, you know, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. He'll shit mouth who he doesn't like and compliment who he does. And
it's all good. I mean, hopefully nobody was talking too much shit. I haven't been paying attention to chat. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna have to go back and really read all of it.
Oh god. When the porn bot came in, I said there must have been a virus in the porn link because Raptor disappeared. And he got on it, you know, he can't take a joke at all. So he gets on and says, "That's not very funny, Jeff." And I said, "Well, it was a little
kind of funny." It was because I got the joke.
And he says, "Only to you!" Exclamation point.
Well, I'm the one who got rid of the bot. So for a second, I thought, "Oh shit, did I hit Raptor and block him again?" Because I had blocked him that first time. But I wasn't. I know I didn't block anybody. I got the joke. It was funny.
Yeah, it was interesting. Then did you see what Lockbeard said that Vault did?
Yes.
Lockbeard started his new channel, I guess, and Vault sent like 100 people from his channel over to freaking mass flag him, and it shut his channel down in one day.
Oh, is that what happened? I had no idea.
That guy sucks, man. That guy sucks.
I'm telling you, it's a losing battle. You just need to block him.
I have a clip. I have a clip that I'm gonna dig it up. And I was debating on going to my old Pine Island channel and doing a show and sharing it there, but about a month ago, I was just looking to see if anybody. It was like 1 a.m. and Vault's on doing a live broadcast, and him and DW have had a huge falling out. DW kicked him out of the family, and fucking it's a full-blown war between the two. The whole their 40,000 followers all divided up and picked sides, so to speak. And so I went on one night. I clicked on Volt was putting a StreamYard in the link. So I clicked on and went on there, and I acted like I didn't know anything about it. And he says, "Hey, it's Jeff. Hey, how you doing?" You know, he's trying to be nice. And I said, and I was kind of stroking him a little bit. I said, he was talking about weapons. And I said, you know, both of us have a military background. I said, I was really enjoying listening to you talk about that. I said, you know so much about them, you know, and he, of course that inflates him all up.
Yeah.
And
narcissists love that.
Oh, yeah. Within a few minutes, he starts talking about, well, you know, people whose name I won't speak. We've had a falling out, and, you know, it reminds me way back when I played that audio on that guy's show, and, you know, and he started bringing it up.
Himself.
And that was the whole point of me clicking on it. I wanted to see if I could get him to go there.
Oh,
wow.
You should have texted me, dude. I would have come.
And
I would have watched that.
He goes in and says, because the audio that I played, we did not hoax that, this and that. And I said, well, it was straight out of that movie. And he just stopped and looks at me, and I said, I mean, I'm not saying somebody else wasn't call blasting that clip away from you, but you guaranteed us that there was nobody else around that area. So that's where the questions came from naturally, is it was literally the clip from a movie. And he just sat there and he goes, well, you got that wrong. You got that wrong. And all of a sudden, boop, he kicks me out of the studio. And that night, I went on the next day to rewatch it, and he fucking removed the episode.
Really?
Took the whole 3-hour show off of YouTube.
Oh, wow. Well, wow, you really got to him then.
Yeah, awesome. I've been recently caught up with Volt, because I forgot all about him after last year and stuff, but because I think Donald brought him up or something. I'm like, oh, you know, see what he's doing. And then, yeah, man, I walked into that whole DW and Vault thing. It's like, I got a little bit of what's kind of going on. You know, I watched a couple
Did
of.
Vault call you out today or something?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because
Donald said that in chat, that he said, oh, Vault called Brent out today.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of not that surprising because, you know, Vault, he's a pathological liar that the dude can't be honest about anything, you know, and you know, he lies about the military, stolen valor, you know, it's you know, it's just, man, you really got to be slow to believe that dude. Like, the dude is like a pathological liar. Like, the dude lies about every fucking thing he says. And it's so he doesn't like that. He's all mad, and he does that whole tough guy persona where I'm going to kick your butt. You come over here to Mississippi or wherever. It's like, come on, dude. That's an insecure person right there. That person is incredibly insecure to the point where he has to be that big persona guy because, you know, he's scared, man. He's just and I think anything that he's told us about is him working at Area 51 and all this stuff that's all full of shit, dude.
What?
I mean, full of shit. Come on. The dude's grifting off of a cryptid that doesn't even exist, right? That's like so full of shit. And it's like, that's where he's at in life. He has to like do stupid shit to con his subscribers and give them money.
His big thing now is that he's trying to, like, okay, so this cat chick that he supposedly got engaged to now.
Oh God.
From what I understand, she's a meth addict, and that's his thing. And anyways, she works at St. Jude Hospital as a you know, I don't know, nurse's aide.
You know, we're on air, right?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm just saying that from what I understand,
allegedly,
they are now allegedly going to collect stories for they're having people write stories about Bigfoot that would be for children, so to speak. You know what I mean? and they're going to compile them into a website as a fundraiser for St. Jude's Hospital. So it'll be interesting to see, because that's what he's touting now, is that this is his big, join the movement sort of thing,
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like he's making that shit up just so he can come up with a better persona.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody who feels that they're not being perceived in a good light will try to align themselves.
Media. You just said tall ones. I'm working something for him.
Yeah,
Wait, media. Who's he working something for?
Talking about Vault.
For Vault Media, you're working for Vault. Is that correct?
I don't. I can't. Not quite getting the context there.
I'm not saying who you should hang out with, but man, that's kind of like bottom of the barrel there, buddy.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's like wanting to beat up Lockbeard and like the ridiculous stuff that he talks about,
well, I'm just surprised being that media was involved. Well, media was trying to help Zasky, and Zasky ended up doing all that crap to him.
A video about him. Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool, man.
Remember? Who's eating?
Who's is that you, Jeff?
No. I hear the crinkling, but it's not me.
No,
is that you, Pat?
It's me.
Yes. Oh, I thought it was like potato chips. I thought Jeff was getting into potato
Got a whole buffet laid out here.
Or you always have your little candies, that you like.
Yeah, yeah. Just got candy there.
Oh, okay, media. Thank you. No, he's working on a video about him.
Oh, that's awesome. Because it's crazy stuff. Like I've only watched a couple of his videos, Vault Keeper, lately, and man, the dude's like insane. I don't really know his whole story about Cat and whatever.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I shouldn't say, I shouldn't stereotype somebody as being something. I don't know these people. You hear what you hear in the community, and for what that's worth.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, if you judged me or you or Nikki or Pat or anybody else by what you hear, you're going to hear good things and bad things about anybody. So
yeah, but I don't know, with Vault, it's like I don't know. I agree. People should probably just ignore him because he's never going to change. He's a pathological liar. So it's like he's not like you can trust anything. And people like him will always have their followers and stuff. But it's like those people really aren't. You don't really want to associate with anyways because they're buying to some dude who has to grift for a living. I mean, that's literally what
a lot of people say that, I don't block anybody, freedom of speech and stuff, but not me. You should see my block list. I don't like somebody and I don't want them to ruin my good vibes. Then, I don't need them. I don't need them for that.
Yeah.
I am talking about specific people here that traumatized me a year ago. So, very specific reasons. So, I don't like to be threatened and I don't like to be talked to in certain ways. And that's all it took for me to block them and some of his followers. So that was
absolutely. It's one of those things where, just remove yourself from the situation. Don't have to deal with it. And it's kind of good to go. And I don't know what the whole thing's going with Vault. I don't know. He's silly. He's silly. He's adorable with how mad he gets. He's like, okay, listen up. I'm going to beat you all up.
Oh my God, for reals? Just like that?
Yeah, literally. Like he gets so upset and so like emotional about it. It's like, it's so funny because you can kind of tell it's like,
they're already blocked to me. Last year I blocked them.
He's not that much of a threat, but he makes himself out to be like some military man that he said he's not military because that's what he kind of got mad at me because I said he was doing stolen valor, where you make money and take advantages off of, lying about your military service, and it comes back, oh, I was never military, I was a private contractor. And it's like, of course, no proof. Of course, can't provide any sort of proof of anything you talk about. But again, it's like, I don't know, those people are
I can
silly.
tell you this, I don't know too many people. I was military for 6 years, and afterwards did work for a private contractor for 1 year. And I never saw anybody who worked with that private contractor firm that did not have prior military service. I mean, they don't hire anybody. And the ones they do, you got to be like fresh out. You don't take 6 months off and then go get a job with those guys.
Well, shit, man. Vault Keepers, his whole life story sounds like a movie, like something like, I don't know, it's like a Steven Seagal movie or something. But he probably runs like him too. I'd like to see that.
Okay.
Anyways, enough trash talking,
I
guess.
Gotta start wrapping it up, guys. Yeah, but that was a little bit of a sidetrack, but that's cool.
No, yeah, you guys made some good points about the Bigfoot over 15 feet. How it's, you guys made some good points.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Jeff, man, before we wrap it up. Like, Jeff, I don't know, like, how tall do you think what you saw was?
Here's the dilemma that I have is I was on about a 30-degree slope, and this thing's, I would say 15 to 20 feet in front of me, standing up probably about 2 foot higher in elevation. And so when I was that close to it, I would have guessed it to have been 9.5, 10 foot tall. But when we watched it walk out onto the beach, the only way that I didn't have anything really as reference at that point, around it to tell as it was standing out on that gravel bar. Other than that, I tried to imagine if I would have ran up to that thing and jumped as high as I could I touched its head? I think it would have been like a basketball hoop. Like I would have missed it by 3, 4, 5 inches. I mean, you just can't get to the rim, right? I mean, for a guy like me, 5'11", I'm guessing it had to have been between 9.5, 10 foot tall.
Okay.
You're 5'11"?
Mm-hmm.
You look like you're 6'2".
That's because I keep the camera here. I'm like those bad Bigfoot
really
videos.
I thought
I never
you were
let
tall.
anybody see my foot stride.
I thought Brent was short and you were tall. And
I'm
you're
6'2".
I always thought Brent was
mind
over
blow.
6 foot tall. I never looked at Brent and thought he was short.
Nothing to do with anything. Hey Jeff, have you ever had your sighting sketched? Your Bigfoot?
No, I was going to, and I got this close to doing it. Have you ever heard of that debacle? I was in Lockbeard's chat one night, and I had it scheduled. I was going to be on Bigfoot Odyssey with Danielle, and Larry Batson was going to draw it. And everybody in Lockbeard's chat was saying, oh, Bigfoot Odyssey, this and that.
Yeah.
Obviously, not everybody's a fan. Okay. And they were getting most of the people in chat were getting pretty descriptive on what they thought about, Bigfoot Odyssey. And I said, hey, look, I said this as a joke. I said, I could always go on and describe Cookie Monster and see if Larry actually draws Cookie Monster. I said it as a joke. Okay?
And that is funny. Funny.
And Lockbeard had put how he puts everybody's quotes up on the screen. And somebody in that chat, I now know who it is, but somebody in that chat forwarded that to Danielle. And the next morning, about 8:00, I get a message on Facebook from Danielle saying, I'm sorry, but I can't have you on the show. Larry, he suffers from Parkinson's, and I look out for him, and I do not feel comfortable putting you on with him. if you're not going to be. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. I was joking when I said that. And in fact, I was putting comments. Lockbeard would attest to this. I was putting comments in there saying, I don't really know that channel very well. I don't have anything bad or good to say about it. I'm looking forward to going on the show. I mean, I didn't take part in the whole. I mean, they were getting pretty bad in what they were saying about people on the show. And so Danielle says, well, I said, I kind of stuck up for you guys. She says, no, you didn't. And so I messaged Carrie and I gave him my phone number and said, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. And literally 5 minutes later, Carrie Arnold called me and we spent almost 2 hours on the phone. Just talking, having a good conversation. And he says, Jeff, I believe you were just joking. I don't think you did anything bad, but you know, that's Daniela's show that she does with Larry, and I'm going to let her make that call. But I want you to know you can come on my show whenever you want. I'd love to have you. And so I never did get on that show and have. I was looking forward to see what Larry Batson would have done.
Yeah, she's unreasonable and unfair.
Isn't there a lady who Sevilla something that also draws?
Yeah, I've seen her on some other shows. She seems to be pretty talented too.
I mean, I'd probably reach out to her, and that'd make a good show for you. You know, to have her on, to have her draw. You know what you saw, and
I think Jen's pretty talented too.
Oh yeah, Jen too. Jen.
Yeah,
we got some couple artists there to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, what did it look like, Jeff? I mean, was it like?
I would, I've had this conversation with you a lot, Pat, in our conversations as friends. I say that and I recently said this to Joe too, had I not ever learned anything about Sasquatch after that sighting, if it was just that sighting, blank space until now, and you asked me this, I would say that this thing had so many human characteristics that I was looking at a human that either evolved or devolved out of its niche. Had I not heard that other people's descriptions of Sasquatch and been able to draw those similarities, I'd say I'm looking at a 9 foot, 9.5, 10 foot tall human that, just like Hychek talks about lake trout that maybe in one lake are 6 foot long, and and they don't get longer than 4 foot in these other lakes. Like somehow they evolved out of a niche there, and other than a lot of hair and the really skin that looked like dry dirt, there was no gloss or sheen to it. The facial features really looked fairly human to me. The nose was a lot of people say
nope.
No, it's not me.
Looks flat.
Not
the nose
you.
really didn't look flat. It just didn't look as long.
Interesting.
And Jay's account of the ears, I would say that too. It was right on the sides of its head. It wasn't up high. Although the one that I saw seemed to have longer hair, kind of scraggly hair, like probably similar to what Joe has described and Jen drew. It had hair that to me looked like it naturally draped around the face, but I mean the bangs looked like they'd come down to like here. It wasn't like short hair like mine is,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you see my show from Sunday?
Yeah, with all the different faces.
Yeah. Was there any of them on there that looked?
I have looked at not that selection of faces that you had. I remember looking at one with Joe one time that had like 12 or 15 different faces on it. And I could take two of those and say, if you took this from this and this from this, that's what it was. But I couldn't find one that looked identical to me. But then again, I kind of draw that similarity of if I had a picture of Pat and Brent and saw a third person and said, okay, which one do they look most like? I thought, well, he has Brent's eyes, but Pat's jawline, you know. Some of those faces are dramatically different than other ones. But then there was a lot of them that were pretty similar.
Yeah.
As you were talking, did it look anything like this?
I'd say the hair looks similar. I don't know that it had. Did you just draw that?
Yep, as you were talking.
Yeah,
Matt, check the tape. Check the tape. You can see clearly I was doing that.
The one thing that seemed odd to me was it was holding its mouth in an unnatural, what I felt like was an unnatural position. Like it had its bottom lip like drooped down, that didn't look like a resting face look, you know what I mean? And
well, now you done fucked me up.
When I look at it, like if you've ever seen a bear when they're trying to wind you, they kind of droop their bottom lip out, like they're trying to waft air up to their nose. Its bottom lip was like hanging down open, so you could see its bottom teeth all the time, but its top lip was like tight, like normal. Like couldn't see the top teeth, just saw the bottom teeth because the bottom of the mouth was like drooped open.
Well, this one's clearly sticking its tongue out at you, so I did my best to correct what you just said.
And you caught the water chew in its mouth too. That's great.
Yeah.
Right. Just I gotta throw a stick at you.
See, like I said, they trade with the natives. They must trade chewing tobacco with the natives, right?
Now Jeff's gonna have fucking nightmares about this night. Sorry, bro.
Good job, Pat. Good job, man.
Yes,
Jesus.
there it is.
It took a strange turn just now.
We don't need Daniela. We've got it right here. I just drew exactly what Jeff saw that day. So. Sorry, dude. I couldn't resist. A little improv by Pat tonight.
I appreciate that.
Some levity.
Got to flex your talents, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually not a good artist. I'm shocked at what I just drew.
No, I put it up on my refrigerator.
I just vomited.
Yeah. Would you sign it and mail it to me?
Yeah, I put it up on my refrigerator, man. That'd look good.
Hang it in the man cave.
Yeah, it's just a notice from my apartment. So, like a notice for road work repair, parking lot repair. Wow, that was fun. I'm just gonna do a cold ending, so no fancy shit, because I gotta wrap it up and start pointing myself towards the bed. 7 a.m. is going to come pretty fast. Okay. And that's a late start for me.
So do we?
Hey, thanks for coming on, man. Glad, Nikki, Brent. I'm glad I got to have that discussion with you. Clearly, it was so frustrating. It was frustrating enough for me to recreate it so that we could actually have that discussion tonight. So
you did good. You did good. I knew.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And show. Jeff, thanks for coming on, and sorry about the snafu.
Well, I came on and threw in the shitstorm grenade, and we started.
That was kind of my bad too, though. I will take some responsibility in that. But I made up for it by.
I love the drawing, Pat. You made my Thanksgiving holiday right there.
Hey, Jeff, what you don't understand is what I do to people I want to be my best friends is I throw big giant logs at them. That's what we do in the Sasquatch world.
Where's the Bigfoot from exactly? Trying to figure out that accent, man.
That doesn't sound very. It doesn't sound like the Flin Flon Manitoba accent.
Not what I expected them to sound like.
No.
Yeah, that's the only accent I got right now. Is
Does he have a lisp?
PD's accent, but bro, I guess I should. Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds remarkably like your dog Petey.
Yes.
Weird.
What are you talking about? Okay, would you like?
I'm not so sure Petey didn't draw that, to be honest with you.
Man, he drew.
Oh, we do, yeah.
He drew it with his wiener. Hey,
talent.
everybody, welcome to Squash Talk. Listen, please, if you're new to the show and you like what you saw tonight, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. It's not always like this, but what, in the ballpark?
It should be.
It's free too, so shoot, guys, it's free.
Yeah,
Yes, this show was like this tonight.
Not once did you see a PayPal link in chat saying,
right. Yes. You can, hey, just email me. I'll give you my address. You can, send me all the thousands of pennies you want. Anyway, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Cool? We good?
All right, see you guys later.
All right. Cold ending. All right. We're just out tonight. And Tim, we are
Boom.
out. And hit it twice.